Now, I want to switch to Gaza if I can, Senator. You led combat platoons and patrols in Baghdad when it was a very, very much not a friendly city. Gaza is even denser in population. I believe Gaza City might be the most densely populated city on the planet. What does the IDF have in front of it, and what do you think of their plan to move forward to clear and hold Gaza City?
Yeah, well, Hugh, first off, not to minimize the threats faced by any American who served in Baghdad over the years, but it really pales in comparison to what we faced or what the IDF faces in Gaza. For instance, in Baghdad, no American troops had to worry about an underground tunnel network in which you could have ambushes pop up from trap doors or through other openings at any point, putting aside questions of density. But it's going to be very hard fighting. There's no doubt about it. And they're going to, unfortunately, take on more casualties. But as Prime Minister Netanyahu said, as President Trump said, as I've insisted now for 18 months, the best way to end this war, the best way to get those hostages back is to keep the military pressure on Hamas. And Israel, as is often the case, has gone the extra mile because it knows it gets singled out for unfair and really unique treatment by the political leaders and media around the world, and it goes, again, above and beyond the demands of the laws of war. But hopefully their final push here into Gaza City will once and for all deal the death blow to Hamas and not just bring those hostages back, but also free the people of Gaza from the suffering they've endured under Hamas now for 18 years.
And a last question, Senator. A lot of our, quote, allies, and they have been allies historically, but it's now Germany, France, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia, have all brought pressure to bear on the equal of any of them, Israel, in terms of our alliance structure. Are you surprised, and do you expect it to come up at the White House today? Because states that won't support Israel after it's been invaded and its people massacred, and its people still continue to be hostile, I'm not sure how reliable they are.
I'm very disappointed, Hugh. I can't say that I'm surprised. Many of these European leaders have political problems of their own at home. This is an easy way for them to distract away from those problems, a tried and true method of any politician. It's relatively cost-free to them. It doesn't harm them in any way, even though it makes things much harder for Israel and, by extension, the United States, since we're Israel's chief backer. And third, I think some of them just made an electoral calculation. In France and in Great Britain, for instance, the center-left parties there depend much more on Muslim votes than they do on Jewish votes. You've got a number of Labour members of Parliament, for instance, in the UK who need Muslim votes to get elected, and they're making a crass political calculation, which unfortunately ends up rewarding terrorism and making Hamas that much less likely to capitulate when they see that they've got prominent European leaders coming to their aid.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.